Andrew LeGrand here, business lawyer with the Spera Law Group in New Orleans, Louisiana, and I wanted to give everyone a heads up on something that happened in the city's new short-term rental law that became effective July 1st, 2023. The city of New Orleans created this private right of action to enforce the short-term rental laws. So anyone who's been in New Orleans for a while knows that short-term rentals have been a very contentious subject. We've tried to change it a lot, and one of the issues that always comes up is enforcement. Is the city actually going to enforce the law? Well, what this specific section 26630 does is allow a private individual to bring a lawsuit against an illegal operator. You have to live within 300 feet of the property, and you can bring that lawsuit and ask for an injunction, which is basically asking a judge to order someone to stop doing something. If they don't listen to that injunction, then you can get them for violation of a court order, and it just kind of compounds the problem, really. But typically, you don't want to violate an injunction. It's not a great place to be. But here's really the kicker in this too, is that can be expensive, right? That's time consuming. You might have to pay your lawyer, you're gonna have to pay court costs, that sort of thing. And it might be hard to get damages out of the person that's illegally operating. How do you prove your damages due to the illegal operator? It's hard to quantify those economically. So this is the kicker right here, is that any person who successfully obtains an injunction shall be entitled to a reasonable attorney's fees. So the judge doesn't even have discretion of whether or not to issue the attorney's fees. They have to give the attorney's fees. There might be a question of how much, but the judge does not, it's not a judge may issue attorney's fees, it's the judge shall issue attorney's fees. This is a really big deterrent to operating illegally. And if you have an illegal short-term rental operating illegally near you, it's a great thing to attempt to enforce. Now, to my knowledge, this hasn't been attempted to be enforced yet. This was not part of the lawsuit. The cities was sued over this entire law. I'm kind of scrolling through it very quickly now, but there were sections that the city was sued, and people argue that it was unconstitutional. That was not part of that lawsuit. That did work out in favor of the city. So now we're past that, and we're at a stage where people are starting to get their licenses and kind of get the short-term rentals back up and operating. But I've seen a lot of people recently complain about people operating illegally still, and wanted to put this out there so people know that there is something they can do about that. If you need help, feel free to reach out. We're definitely interested in trying to enforce this and help people put a kibosh on the illegal short-term rentals.